I
watching
love that.
stuff in the
If
background.
anyone from work is listening to this and thinks I'm just watching movies all day, no, I'm
No,
not.
I'm not.
No, I'm not.
I'm working.
Just-
I swear. You can come in my office.
Snitches get
I'm still working.
stitches. Snitches get stitches. Hello and welcome to the Nerdiest podcast, where nerds talk about nerdy things. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Jackson Glass, as always, with my ride or die, Mr. Nick Barrett. We're here, episode 99. Little thing to know before we dive deep into this is this episode is pre-recorded because I'll be traveling and we're getting ready for episode 100. So this is 99, but it is pre-recorded, so if some stuff sounds out of date or just the timing feels weird, that's why. It's pre-recorded, but we're getting ready for the 100th episode, so don't worry. Tune in next time, and we'll have a huge episode for you. It's going to be great. But today is going to be great also, because we're talking about our top 5 TV intros, amongst other things. I'm here with Nick Barrett, as always. And before I ask him how his week been, I'm going to tell you to follow us on Instagram at The Nerdiest Podcast, and on YouTube at The Nerdiest Podcast for great original content to know when episodes are coming out. Subscribe on YouTube so that you can see us live. We're playing a lot of games live right now. It's super fun. We hope you can join soon. YouTube, The Nerdiest Podcast. Leave a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Everywhere you listen, leave a review, and we'll make sure to read it on the show. So, I'm here, gonna ask you, hey, how's your week been, sir?
I'm really proud of you for not breaking as I was adjusting my focus there.
That hurt.
I waited
just
for you to
saw-
start laughing, but you just kept going, and I'm really proud of you.
I just saw this close-up of your mouth, and it was just like this duck lips, and it was like,
Stop it!
that was hard to.
How rude.
That was hard to sidestep.
I would never choose the
but-
duck lips for myself on my Miis, so therefore, not real.
because everyone
Thank you.
knows this is. It's kind of like. There's like, what's it called? Like your star sign, your Enneagram, and then whatever. Your me tells you so much more than any of that crap. Okay?
Absolutely.
If you look at someone's me, you can instantly tell the kind of person that they are based on the choices that they made, especially the one that they made when they're like 12. That's all I'm going to say.
Dude, my me from when I was 12. So before I get into my week, I'll
Right.
explain this because it looks
Yeah.
really stupid.
Yeah.
My me from when I was 12, I made it on my 3DS. And here's the thing, is at this point in time, for the viewers who, if you've never watched a video episode or you haven't put 2 and 2 together, I'm not white. So let's start there. Now,
For anyone, I need to clear this up. For anyone that doesn't know, if you don't know, I need this out there. I'm not white.
okay.
I am
Now
white.
that
I
we've
need
gotten that
clear-
out of the way. When I was 12, I was in denial of that for the longest time because, and I won't say a ton of shade to my grandparents, but also when 10-year-old me said, hey, why do I not look like everyone else in the family? My grandmother looks at me and with a straight face, says, well, you just spent too much time in the sun and you got sunburned.
I didn't think we'd be diving into this today, but here we
So-
are.
So I took that seriously. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that checks out. So my me had that swoosh hair
Mm-hmm.
and was white with brown eyes and did not look like me at all. I had this really weird goatee because I wanted to look like Iron Man, I guess. And then when I got my Switch, it was like, do you want to make a me? And I was like, oh, yeah. And it imported my old one because I just brought over the same account. And I was like,
Oh,
no, I'm not using that one.
This
And
aged
now,
poorly.
now mine actually looks like me. It's got the glasses, it's got the right hair, it's got facial hair, which actually, maybe it doesn't. I don't think it has facial hair.
what's interesting?
I don't think I've added that yet.
Here's what's interesting is I didn't grow a beard until this year, and most of my Miis had at least a mustache or a beard.
Dude, same.
Because I wanted it so bad.
I thought my knee looked really bare without any kind of facial hair,
Yeah.
but then that didn't click for me like in real life
Yeah.
until I actually grew out a beard. And everyone was like, Nick, you need to shave. You need to not have any facial hair. There was one person in particular who was very angry that I grew out facial hair. But then I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to do it.
Screw it.
And then I did it.
I'm going to do it.
I haven't been clean shaven since Thanksgiving 2021.
Wow.
So
Never
I'm going
looked
on
back.
2 years of having facial hair.
Well, if you're
Because
keeping up...
honestly, if I didn't, I would look like 5 years younger. And I hate
No,
it.
you would. And I didn't realize this until this year. If you've been keeping up with the video, you can watch the progression of my beard. And it's actually like really full now, which surprised me. Because I tried to grow a beard in 2020. Like in the like my rebellious quarantine phase was like, I'm not going to shave. And it just did like the chin strap. Like it wouldn't connect like on the mustache. And so I just looked kind of homeless. And so it just wasn't a good look. So I shaved it off. And I was like, you know what? I will grow a beard again when it can be nice and full. And here I am now. It looks great. I was at game night last night, and someone tapped me, and he said, who told you could grow a beard? Because they were right. And it was just like that. I don't think men understand how badly they want to be validated by their friends until they're validated by their friends. And so it's like when someone says, hey, you can grow a beard, I was like, I won. Like I did it. Like I won life.
Does this mean we need to contact Zoe and have her make an updated version of the logo?
Low-key.
Except you have facial hair now.
No, I'll do it on like one of those editing apps where it like puts a filter on it.
We need our like 4th revision of this logo.
No,
I just need you to
literally.
add Jackson with facial hair. That's
you
it.
See, our logo is the
Then
same.
call it a day.
It's the same vibe as like when you rearrange your room like every other week, just because you want to feel different. But
it's really all the same.
And it's all the same, and it costs like $50 every time you do it. So,
speaking
that's
of
that.
like rearranging your room, that's what I did this week. Very nice segue there.
Very nice segue.
That
was a really good segue.
Honestly, I haven't done a lot this week.
Yeah.
Just been working and watching TV, which I'll get into in a little bit. But if you watch the video and you pay very close attention, you'll notice that my shelves behind me have changed ever so slightly. You can't really see it because it's out of focus, but I have a Ninjago set up there. I put some Legos up there and kind of filled out the top of that shelf. And I filled out this shelf right behind me that has the Ninjago temple on it. And then the one underneath that is kind of up in the air right now. Really just taking things off of shelves and putting different things on the shelves to solidify and really tightly pack these shelves, because this is all I've got behind me. At least until I move out and have my own place, which even then, at that point, I'll probably have a girlfriend and or wife, which means it really won't be my place.
You'll have a girlfriend and a wife?
No, I said
Whoa.
and. Well, or
Whoa.
there is no and. Okay.
Whoa.
But yeah, it really won't be my place. It'll be like I have to share it with someone who, unless she's as much of a nerd as I am, but if she's as much of a nerd as I am, then she'll have her own stuff.
Right.
That she'll want to display. So it's like I'm just kind
you need more
of consolidating.
It's one of those like, I'll jump off that bridge when I get there.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
I'm also being a lot more conscious about what I'm buying, like figure-wise, because I'm like, I've passed that phase where I need 1,000 Lego sets and 1,000 Funko Pops. Like, if there's a couple Funkos that I want, but outside of that, I'm like, I don't need 7 Deku Funko Pops. I just have the 2 that I really like, and those are the ones I'm going to keep. So, outside of that, I started watching a series on, in parentheses, HBO Max. No, it's really just like parentheses, HBO, and then Max.
Which is stupid because it's not the Family Dog. It's a streaming service. I still call it HBO, by the by.
I still call it HBO Max. Don't tell them, though.
Don't tell them.
Listen, honestly, the worst thing they've done with that app is they took away your ability to use custom profile
Dude.
pictures. Our HBO Max had this really cool, they were all Demon Slayer themed. We were all a different Demon Slayer character. And now I have to choose between like a character from 30 live action
Friends
shows
or-
I don't
yeah.
even watch. Like,
Stupid.
give me the ability to use custom ones back. Or put in better characters.
Demon Slayer's not even on HBO Max, but I really
That was the
liked
funny part.
My Inosuke profile picture.
No, you were Zenitsu. Scott
Sorry.
was
Inosuke.
Inosuke. I was
Zenitsu.
Tanjiro.
You're Tanjiro. I don't do that. All right, it's not even on HBO, but I liked it. And now I'm like, oh, I'm going to be Sheldon Cooper. Get out of here.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Not to get off topic.
Right.
I just got a notification.
Okay.
Apparently, I can watch The Chosen on the Bible app.
Hold on. Wait, since when?
I didn't know that.
Since when?
Since like right now. I just
Breaking
got a
news.
notification.
Breaking news.
The Chosen seasons 2 and 3 are now in the Bible app. Experience the life of Jesus like never before.
Since when?
It's a topic for a whole nother day.
Oh my
I
gosh.
feel like I feel like The Chosen is kind of sus, but that's a conversation for a different day.
I haven't seen it. I couldn't tell you.
I haven't seen it either, but I feel like everything surrounding it is kind of weird.
Everyone I've talked to
I'm not
said
saying
that
it's a
they really
bad
like
show.
it. Right. I haven't seen it. I couldn't say, but everyone I've talked to
I just
said
feel
they
like
really
it's one of
liked it.
those.
Yeah, it's literally there. Like the hour-long episodes are there on the Bible app.
That's so you could watch The Chosen on everything.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
Which,
like
TBH, not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. I'm just saying.
no,
It's accessible.
especially because it's out there for free.
Yeah, it's
not
accessible.
like you
Let's
have
go.
to have a subscription service.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You watched
started
a
watching
show
this little known
that is not
series
not like The Chosen at all.
on Max. To pivot in the opposite direction. If you've been with the podcast for a while,
Yep.
you know I'm a really big Elizabeth Olsen fan.
Yes.
So I decided to try out the new series that she's in called Love and Death.
Right.
And before I proceed any further, I won't go into specifics or anything, but this is a very hard show. What's the TV equivalent of R?
TVMA.
M?
TVMA.
TVMA. Thank you. It is a very hard TVMA. Like, yeah. So, to the younger listeners, if there are any, do not go watch this show. Don't. I'm actually going to say I'm not going to keep watching the show because I love Elizabeth Olsen. I really do. I think she is an incredible actress and she does incredible work in this series, but it's just too sexual, man. Like I think I got 2 episodes in and the first episode. Okay, well, here, for those who don't know, the premise of the show is Elizabeth Olsen's character is married in this small town in Texas, and it's like her and a bunch of all these other married couples. And the premise of the show is she really wants to have an affair with this one guy who is also married. And the entire first episode is her being like, well, I really want to have this affair, but I know I shouldn't. And everyone around her is like, no, you absolutely should not have the affair.
Okay.
And she's like, yeah, you're right. And then she just talks to the guy and is like, hey, we should have an affair. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And then she gets out of his car. And then that kind of like sits there and ruminates in his mind. And then there's like the back and forth of like, should we do it? No. Should we do it? Sure. And then they go to this hotel and then they do it and it's weird. And now they're like hiding it. Aside from it was bad. Like, it made me uncomfortable watching it. And I got that feeling of like, oh, I shouldn't be watching this. Because there's one thing to be like, oh, well, let's throw some tasteful, like, oh, we'll imply that that's what they're doing and then cut away. Nope, it's there.
Oh,
You watch them do it.
that's
And
awesome.
I'm like, oh, no, thank you. I'm
Thanks.
good. I love Elizabeth Olsen, but no, thank you.
That's too much. There's too much, Elizabeth Olsen. Stay back. Whoa.
There was
Yeah.
that, but then there was also, I don't like the way they've characterized people because everyone in this show is a Christian and they all go to church. And I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, I know it's based on a true story, so there's only so much you can change while still being true to what actually happened in real life. I don't know the real life story.
Yeah.
But I don't like the characterization of like Christians. Oh, they can't control themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't handle it, you know? And I'm like,
yeah,
she just needs a better support group. Cause like her best friend is like, well, I mean, if that's what you want to do, go for it, I guess. And I'm like, no, you need a better friend to tell you no. That's not what you should be doing.
That kind of sucks.
And there's a lot of lines where Elizabeth Olsen is like, well, I do all this stuff. Like I watch the kids and I take them to school and I cook the food. Where's my reward? And then her pastor is like, which her pastor is a woman, which was red flag number 1. Okay, I probably just opened a whole can of worms, but I'm not going to get into it. And her pastor was like, this is the reward. The fact that you get to stay home and not work and do all these things is the reward of being a wife. And she's like, huh, well, that's not enough for me. I got to go bang somebody else's husband and then hide it from them. But then after she does it, she continually talks about how much respect she has for this guy's wife. And she's like, well, I would never want to do anything to hurt your marriage or hurt your wife or hurt my husband. And I'm like, then stop having the affair or don't have it in the first place. That is ultimately how you don't do any of those things. And then the guy suddenly gets a conscience and is like, maybe I shouldn't be having this affair. I want to stop the affair because my wife just had our third kid. And like, I feel like I'm like not falling in love with my wife anymore and I'm falling in love with you. And that's really not healthy. And I want to get out of it. And now from where I left off, this guy and his wife went to a marriage retreat and I'm actually kind of like rooting for them to be like, get your marriage back on track.
Yeah, go save
this
your
guy
marriage.
made a mistake. He wants to atone for that mistake and do better in the future. Good for you.
Good guy. Yeah,
like
pop off.
That's what you should do. And now Elizabeth Olsen is like, he's getting better with his wife.
This sounds stupid. I don't like this show.
No, I don't either, which is why I'm not going to continue it. Honestly, I'll probably, because like I want to know what happens. Yeah. I'll probably just look up like a plot synopsis. Or watch a summary video on YouTube. Yeah. Because here's the thing. If there wasn't so much sexual content in it, maybe I would consider continuing it. That is one of the biggest reasons I'm not continuing watching it. It's because I don't, like I said earlier, if it was like, oh, we're going to imply, like you see them walk into this motel room and then they close the door and then it cuts away and whatever. Yeah. Okay, cool. You imply that that's what they were doing. I don't need to see it though.
Right.
Like,
well, because
no, thank you. I'm good.
Because you can't say, I'm not gonna watch anything that I disagree with, because now you're alienating yourself, and you're seriously limiting, like you're seriously limiting yourself on what you can watch, and you're alienating yourself and like hurting your relatability. That's I'm not saying, oh, I can't watch it because I wouldn't like having an affair is wrong. Okay, having an affair is absolutely wrong. Also,
100%.
Imprisoning a town and controlling them is really wrong. I love WandaVision though. Like what do you want? It's the how is that portrayed and how is that shown and how is that executed based on what's good for me to watch and what's really just not, you know? That's kind of like I
could be watching so many better things than Elizabeth Olsen going at it with this guy.
It's just not like, it's not healthy. It's not healthy, and that's not what I need to see. So yeah, that's what I'll say about that. My week wasn't insane. I'm getting ready. I've been watching a lot of Love is War because that was our last episode pre-recording. Watched a lot of Love is War this week. Go back to the last episode to hear us talk about that.
Yo, this guy's so weak-minded. I watched 8 episodes in one day.
Okay.
And we're the night before.
You were at work.
And he still has 2 episodes left.
You were at work when you watched those 2 episodes. Some of us have
what's
jobs
your point?
That you can't just watch TV at, okay? That's That's a
It's also different for me because I'm rewatching it, so I don't really need to pay attention as much.
That's also true. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. Lots of work, just working and doing videos for people and whatever. So yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say, and we can't go into our movie competition because we're pre-recording. So go back
and
to
we're
the
recording
last
the episodes
episode.
out of order, which I didn't know until an hour ago.
Which was a miscommunication on my part, and I'm sorry. But anyway, we've figured it out. We have therapy at 9, and it's going to be
No,
great.
we have therapy at 6:30. It's called Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
That's our therapy. That is how we... Honestly,
amen.
I feel like playing games on the Nintendo Switch is our therapy. You know, that's how we grow apart so that we can come back together, if that makes sense. You know, it's like how you come out of a trial stronger than ever, you know, and this week I have it on the notes. I'm just gonna be straight up. It's on the notes, and I don't know how to transition to it. You watched a lot of Ninjago this week.
I sure did. I'm in the habit of, like, I've said this before. I watched a lot of movies at work, which just to clear some stuff up. If anybody from work is listening, or anybody is like, Nick, what kind of job do you have that you can watch movies at work? When I say watch movies, I mean it's on my phone playing in the background while I'm doing my job.
That's peak.
And if somebody comes in my office and says, "Hey, can we talk about this thing?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." Takes out headphones, pauses, she like puts phone away. Yes, let me divert my full attention to you because my job is more important than whatever I'm watching. So it's not like I'm sitting there like, oh, let me just keep snacking. I'll eventually work.
Right.
Like, no, I am still working, but I'm also watching stuff in the background.
If anyone from work is listening to this and thinks I'm just watching movies all day, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I'm working. I swear. You can come in my office. I'm still working.
Snitches get stitches.
So
yeah, Ninjago.
I don't want to watch new stuff. So I decided, you know what? I'm finally going to rewatch Ninjago. And I'm rewatching through the whole series, eventually getting up to the stuff I haven't seen yet. Because I think I haven't seen anything past season 10. So I'm like watching through everything to work my way back up to that. Because there's also this new Ninjago series called Dragons Rising that came out this year. And I want to get to that and see how that is. But I also want to watch everything else. So I've finished seasons 1, 2, and 3, which when I told that to Jackson, he was like, "You've watched 3 seasons of Ninjago?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's really like 32 episodes.
Yeah,
like it's really not that much."
When I was 10 years old and I could only watch them on Cartoon Network at my granny's house because we didn't have cable, I thought they were like 25 episode seasons because I just never got to watch it live. And
it also doesn't help that they did all of the episodes, like the numbers just kept going up. Like even when you switch from season 3 to 4, it just goes from episode 34 to 35, and they keep moving forward.
They weren't concerned about the seasons at all. They really weren't.
Right. It is definitely one of those shows, not that you could play it out of order.
Right.
Because there are some shows like Miraculous Ladybug, you can play that show. You can watch any episode in any order and it doesn't really matter. Which ultimately kind of hurts the show because it's really hard to tell a congruent storyline.
Right.
But needless to say, I think Ninjago is one of the last good kid shows ever made. Whoa. Especially compared to the kind of stuff that comes out today. There are some exceptions, like Miraculous Ladybug.
Or Bluey.
I mean, it's not Ninjago level, but it's good, I guess.
Bluey.
Bluey, I haven't watched it, and I'm trying to see, like, am I at the point, like, should I just wait till I have kids and then watch it?
No, you should.
Or should I watch it now?
Or
and
you
just,
should make
like,
friends with adults like me that have kids and then go over to
Listen,
their house and it's just on.
There are a couple people in my small group who have kids, which makes me feel a lot younger than I actually am.
Same. So, you know.
So, but yeah, Ninjago, I'm watching it, and it's such a good show. Like, it's kind of a weird premise of like, hey, we want to do the Lego movie before the Lego movie came out, but it's a show. about these ninjas with elemental powers, and they're going to fight this guy called Lord Garmadon. And he's trying to get the golden weapons, and then there are these snake people, and there are these skeleton people, and there's dragons, and there's all this cool stuff. And then they somehow turn it into, like, a really good show.
Solid story.
That is actually has a solid story, solid moral, like, lessons in it that still apply to this day. And honestly, it's just cool.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it is. There is a
I can understand why
factor.
it's so popular. And the weird thing is, it seems like Lego took a chance on this show, and they got 10 great seasons out of it. And now they don't really know what to do because they've tried to kickstart other shows. Like, Ninjago's been running since, I think, 2008, 2010, somewhere in there. And from then to now, they aired the entirety of Chima, most of Nexo Knights before it got canceled, and, like, another Bionicle. And they've tried to, like, pick up and kickstart all of these other shows, and they've just never hit it again.
Yeah.
Which is why they won't let go of Ninjago until they have another thing to lean on. And that's the problem, is now you're going on, even though it's a new show, it's just season 17 of an already pre-existing show. You can change the title. It's just you're continuing the same plot line with some new characters and some old characters. And as I'm watching these older seasons, you can see, like, oh, they did intend for the show to end at season 2.
Yep.
And season 3 kind of suffered for that because it was the growing pains of, well, we wrote the show to end, so now we have to figure out how to kickstart it again. But after that, they kind of get a little better at establishing the next villain of the season. Yep. Like at the end of season 3, Zane dies, and then they're like, oh, well, now he's back at the very end. And then season 4 is like, okay, well, now we got to find Zane. And at the end of season 4, they set up season 5, and so on and so forth. And they figured out that rhythm. And then you get to season 10, and that's the end of Ninjago.
That's the end.
The writers who wrote from season 1 ended at season 10, and they stepped off. They said, we wrote our 100 episodes, we're done.
Yeah.
And they left. And then they changed writers, and they did season 11 to 16. And then, which were significantly shorter.
Yeah.
Like
shorter
11 episodes.
Quality. Yeah.
I wouldn't say lower quality. Well,
the writing doesn't feel as strong. It doesn't.
Lower quality in the sense of, instead of doing 22-minute episodes, they broke them down into 2 11-minute segments, which felt really weird. Which,
didn't like
it's funny. I remember covering that on my Lego channel when they announced that. I was like, guys, it's gonna be okay. And then I watched it and I was like, yeah, this is good. But it also feels like they're recycling some stuff.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Like, they should have let it go a long time ago.
Watch Ninjago. And I think the movie...
Watch the old stuff.
The movie not doing as well as they wanted it to, I think maybe hurt the spirits for the fandom a little bit, because everyone wanted the movie to be like the show.
Yeah.
And then they switched the show to be like the movie, so it was like no one wants to watch this anymore.
Which
no one
I'll defend that.
Right.
I will defend them changing the designs, because the pipeline they went through, they didn't have the time to know the movie wasn't going to be a success.
Right. Which is like,
because
it's like, it's not their fault. It wasn't a person's mistake. It was just rather unfortunate that that's what happened.
It was, the movie came out in September, and then the new season started in January. So they were in production at the same time. And the reasoning for why they changed the designs in universe made sense. And that's all I really cared about.
Right.
Is it didn't feel like, we're changing and retconning things. There's literally a line where they're like, well, Sensei Wu went back in time, and if he knocks one thing off, we could look totally different. And then they move on, and that's it. And then they changed Lloyd's voice actor, and it was like, oh, he finally went through puberty because, you know, he got aged up.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that I think old Ninjago, the first 10 seasons is very clearly the best of the show. Right. And that also shows in the Lego sets, because the Lego sets nowadays suck. compared to the old
shows the
sets.
Lego sets because actually, if you look at the
Have you seen that guy on Instagram? You know the guy I'm talking about where it's like inviting the Apple Kid or whatever, and he's like,
Yes.
you don't understand the 12.4
Yes.
sword GPU of what, like, that guy. He's hilarious, by the way.
Oh my gosh, she's so funny.
That's what you sound like just now. You're
Yeah.
like, well,
No, it's
the new Ninjago
actually,
sets
did you
are
know-
not comparable to the old ones because the old ones had a much better part-to-piece
Yeah.
ratio and relied on building brick-built heads for the dragons
Yeah.
instead of using plastic molds. Anyway, that's my
Which, yeah, that
Ninjago
was a
set
good
vent
Ninjago
of the
rant.
day.
You know, we could do a full hour on Ninjago.
We should.
We should.
Once I finish my entire series rewatch, we should do an episode.
We can dig deep, do a reaction video or two, see what's up. Final piece of information before moving into the main topic is, and I cannot believe I forgot about this for my weekly recap, but I got this SD card. See? Tiny SD card, 4 gigabytes. Okay? This was an SD card I was given to take headshots on because I was taking headshots. It was just over at a friend's house. It's at Andrew's house. Shout out to Andrew again because he likes it when I shout him out. I was at his house and he was like, "Hey, I'm just updating my resume. Can you take some headshots?" Cool. Go outside, take pictures. It's easy. I'll just bring my camera. I completely forgot I took my SD card out of the camera. So my SD card was on my desk at home. And he said, "Oh, I have an SD card in an old Nintendo DS that I bought at a yard sale the other day." So he pulls out this SD card and there's like no, it doesn't I put it in the camera and it's like there's no image database. Like it had to create an image database that it could write on because it's meant for a Nintendo DS. It's like a 4 gigabyte card. So I took his headshots on it and it worked like they worked fine. They were great pictures. And when I came home and put the SD card in my computer, there was 8 folders on the card. One of them was the pictures I took. The rest 7 were the previous owners. So whoever had this Nintendo DS with this SD card in it took a ton of pictures on it. And now I have all of them.
With like pictures with their DS?
Yeah, with the DS. So they are all like super low quality. And it's nothing weird. It's all like blurry pictures of hallways. But also like I had this really creepy, surreal experience where I was solely just curious because I love going through other people's stuff. Let me tell you, if someone like going through people's Instagrams, their Facebooks, like I like looking at people's key rings to see what they got on there. Like I'm just a very curious person and likes to go through people's stuff. Not in a weird way, but in a curious way. So I'm going through this SD card and it's this weird surreal experience of like there's pictures of people on this like it was obviously owned by like this random kid who was running around taking pictures of, and there's this one picture and it's a picture of a dog and the picture goes so hard. It's like just this chocolate lab, but it's like super blurry and grainy and like it looks like a DS took it because it did. And I'm just saying, it would make a really good album cover. And I just feel like that's a really good story of like, oh, like this album cover is just a random picture of a dog? Or it's because I found it on a DS SD card. And that is my adventure for the week, was finding these random pictures that someone I've never met took. And it was like this surreal experience of like this window into a person's life that like, they don't know I'm here. They don't know I exist. And I don't know who they are. I feel like Robin Williams in that one movie with the photo development. I haven't seen it, so I probably shouldn't compare myself to that. But like, you know, isn't that weird?
A little bit.
Isn't that weird?
A little bit.
It's like
was there
cool.
any game data on the SD
There was
card?
game data. There was game data. I also saw all
ask.
the screenshots that were taken on the DS. And it was like all these Pokemon screenshots and like all these Mii characters. And like, it was weird. It was weird.
So it was a 3DS, not a DS.
So it had to have been a 3DS.
Because there were no Miis on the DS, as far as I'm aware.
I saw all these Miis and all these Pokemon screenshots, and like, it was kind of fun. I was like, this is cool. Like,
That's wild.
It was wild. It was cool. So anyway, that's my adventure for the week.
I guess we just jump into the main topic, which was not mentioned until now.
TV show. I mentioned at the beginning that we were
Did
doing.
you? Okay, good.
Top 5 TV show intros. Hey guys, we are
Gotta do like the Mr. Beast intro. What's up, guys?
What's
In
up,
this
guys?
video,
In
we're going to
this
be talking
video-
about the top 5 TV show intros of all time.
Hey,
Just kidding. It's our
guys.
top 5.
We.
I'm interested to see if there's any overlap on our lists.
I think there might be. So we both have our top 5 TV show intros, meaning theme songs in like the start, like the song at the start, but not just the song. It's the complete, like the whole package of like the song, the footage, like everything that's like it that encapsulates the intro, the whole thing. Top 5, our favorites. Honorable mentions are there too. We'll get there at the end.
This guy handicapped me to only 2 anime
I said
in my top
2
5.
anime intros in the top 5 because you would have done 5 animes and they all would
I
have
sure
been
would
from
have.
My Hero, and it would have been like top 5. Number 5, My Hero season 2. Number 4, My Hero season 1. Number 3, My Hero season 5. And I'm not about that. Okay.
Listen to this guy. Listen to this dude.
Listen.
What a guy. All right, guys. We're never going to hit episode 100.
right.
I'm offended. We're done.
We've got
right here. This is the
therapy
last
at
episode.
9. All right. Do you want to hit number 5 first, or do you want me to go?
Absolutely.
You go first.
My number 5.
Okay.
And this was hard. I'll be honest. It was really hard to put this list together. Was that because I did it 5 minutes before we started recording because I didn't know we were doing it today and I thought I had another day? Absolutely. But also, it's just kind of hard because I've watched so much TV.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick just 5. But my number 5 is the first Demon Slayer opening. I think it's Gringe is how you pronounce it. And it was either going to be that or The Office. And some people will say, those two aren't comparable. And I'm like, yes, you're absolutely
so
correct.
right.
They are not comparable at all. But what won Demon Slayer out for me was the fact that this intro for season 1 encapsulated the entire first season without needing to change. There are some anime that can't do that. Like My Hero, for every season, that's a standard 25 episode run. They always end up doing 2 openings, and they change it up somewhere between episode 12 and 15. Demon Slayer didn't do that for all 26 episodes of the first season was. They used the same opening for all 26 episodes, and they summarized it in that opening, and it never felt like it outdated itself.
No.
Because if you've watched a bunch of anime openings, you'll know what I'm talking about, where, I can clearly see in the episodes we're watching, we've moved past what is covered in the opening. But Demon Slayer didn't do that. And I think it's really impressive that they were able to do that and not make it feel outdated by the time you get to episode 26. Because
Which I
there's
will
some
say-
stuff, like in episode 1, you're like, whoa, who's this boar guy? Who's this yellow jacket guy? What's up with Nezuko? That looks
Well,
weird.
That's what I was gonna bring up. Is I've seen the first season of Demon Slayer. That was our first anime episode that like you made me watch, where I was watching for those characters. I was like, I want to know what's up with the boar guy and like all this, and then it's not till like episode 8 that they're in there.
Yeah.
And so like that was frustrating at first, but now I appreciate it because like you said, like it doesn't outdate itself and it works really well. So I liked that. That's a good pick.
There's also a shot towards the end with all the Hashira in it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very beginning, it's Giyu is the only one who's not a silhouette. And then as you go on, like Shinobu gets highlighted. And then after the episode where you meet them all, they're all highlighted because now you've seen them all.
Yeah,
and it's
now
just
you
like
know.
small details like that you didn't have
That's
to
good.
do, but they did it anyway. And that's why it's my number 5.
Okay. Good pick. This is one I don't think is on your list. I don't believe it will be.
Okay.
I'm throwing it old school. I'm gonna say number 5. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
No, it's not on my list because I've never seen it.
I've seen a couple seasons, and like as a show, it's a really good show. But also, like when I was just thinking about, when I was trying to think of iconic theme songs, Fresh Prince was the first thing that came to mind. Like, I know all the words. It's essentially a Will Smith music video at the beginning of every episode. And I really appreciate, like, they put some hardcore production value into that. The song's a banger. I know all the words, and it made me want to sing along every episode. And that's what a good theme song does to me, is it makes me want to sing along. Even if there's no lyrics, I want to sing it. Like the catchy tune, like, Fresh Prince, that's up there for me, number 5. And I appreciate it. As like from an objective and subjective standpoint, I think it's a 10. I love Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
It's also a really iconic song.
It really
like
is.
If you don't know the intro song to Fresh Prince, you probably do.
Yeah.
You just don't know it's from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
This is a story all about how my life got turned upside down. But it's also like, I just really like that kind of like 90s rap. Like that, like, I went to the store and I bought some pants and then I
was recommended to watch Fresh Prince because I was told I would really like it.
You would really like it.
So it's on my list. I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah. I think it's
but right now I'm watching Ninjago,
really
so back off.
Because right now I'm watching Ninjago and I got to get through that before. Come on, guys.
Gotta master my spinjitzu before I go do that.
I am a master builder.
I'm going to have to show you. I have a video where I did like a stop motion recreation of the final battle with Lloyd and the Overlord from season 2, but I dubbed everything over instead of using the clips. So there's like a clip of 10-year-old me going, I am the ultimate spinjitzu master with really bad microphone quality. It's so funny. And you know what? Shout out. If any listener or viewer can find it, I will give you a reward. I'm not going to say where it's at. It's a public YouTube video that I've made.
Okay.
And if you can find it, if you know the lore of the podcast and you know all my different YouTube channels and you find it, I'll give you a reward.
A reward. Nothing
Instagram.com/the Nerdiest podcast.
Send it. Send those DMs.
Shoot it in the DM. Tell me you found it.
Number 4.
Number 4. Hold on, I gotta open up my list. I don't have it memorized. I think I know what it is. Oh yeah, number 4. I think this one's gonna shock you.
Oh.
It's a banger.
Okay.
It's from a show I watched not recently. I'll say recently within the last year.
Okay.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Really?
I really like the Brooklyn Nine-Nine intro.
Okay.
It's just so iconic and cool.
Yep.
Like the trumpets and the way it really feels like, I guess, a more comedy version. Like, if Law and Order had a sitcom intro, that's the Brooklyn Nine-Nine intro. And that's what it felt like. And it was one of those that it's kind of simple, doesn't need to change, but every time you hear it, it gets you really excited for the episode. Especially if the cold open before it was really good and you're laughing, and then you're like, oh, now I have this high of... You should watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's a really good show.
That
Except for the last season. Don't watch the last season.
That's on my list.
The last season's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I mean, when we talked about our new theme song, like for the Nerdiest podcast, at first you were like, we need something just like the Brooklyn Nine-Nine theme, and I was like, I don't really know if we do. And you're like, no.
It was an inspiration, okay?
It was an inspiration. It was a good thought. Okay. This is where we might start to
I have
overlap.
good thoughts every now and then.
This is where we might start to overlap.
I don't think we will.
Really?
I don't think we will.
Because my number 4 is Community.
Nope.
No? It's not on there. Nope. Okay. I have this clear vision in my head of the first time I watched Community, and I'm pretty sure it was over quarantine when I was on like a gym schedule, air quote, but it was like the home gym in the garage. Like, I wasn't really doing anything, but I would prop up my iPad and then I would do like the Bowflex, whatever the frick it's called. And I got really into it to the point where I would sing the theme song by myself whenever I was there. And so, like, I'd just be out there by myself with my headphones in going, give me some rope, Time me to dream. Give me the hope to run out of steam. Like that. It hits, you know? And it really, I think the feeling that the theme song for Community gives me is the same feeling that you feel at the end of an episode of Community after an iconic Jeff Winger speech. And you're like, there is hope. Like, okay, like this kind of sucks, but like we've got hope. We're going to make it work. And I really, really like the feelings and the emotions it invokes, and the lyrics are so good. What is it, the 88s? Or like what's
I
the
think
band?
so.
I think it's the 88s.
I think it's 88s.
And it's I can't count the reasons I should stay. One by one, they all just fade away. Ba-bum, bum. Like, and then the little paper. That's good. It's just
I really like the different like special variants they have for
Yes,
Halloween or for they did a Christmas one.
Yeah.
I think those are fun.
Yeah. So different variants of a theme song, and Disney Channel shows did this all the time. There are
Amen.
no Disney Channel intros on my list. I had to restrain myself because it was hard. Ooh. No, I
There
can't
are
do
none
that.
on my list,
There's some
They're
of my
none on my
honorable
list,
mentions.
but 2 made it on my honorable mentions.
Yeah,
I'll
same,
say that.
Same. All right. Number
Number 3.
Number 3.
All right, number 3. This is where things are going to get interesting
Okay.
because I think you'll be shocked.
I'm already
number
pretty
3
shocked by your
Number
by your
3
picks.
is number 1 from My Hero Academia, which is the opening
Ooh.
for season 5, the first
So
half.
So number 1 is the
Is number 3.
intro. Number 1 is number 3, which is the season
Yes.
to season, which is the
Which is
intro
an
to
intro for
season
season
part
5.
1.
Don't think about it too hard, you'll hurt yourself.
Wait. Number 1 is number 3, which is the intro to season 5 part 1.
No, it's just like the first half of season 1.
Okay. So
The only anime that puts parts in their titles is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Attack on Titan.
my bad.
Thank
You
God
mean
we're
you
on
didn't
Attack on
put-
Titan, season 4, part 3, part 7, part 10.
You mean you don't have the intro to Attack on Titan season 10, part 1, part 4, part 8 in your list? How dare
No.
you?
But this
So yeah,
intro
number 1.
for My Hero, if you also know the lore and you've been on our TikTok, you'll know I ranked this as
I just had this visceral reaction because I forgot we had a TikTok so long ago, and we did so much. We put so much work into it just to be like, this isn't worth it.
what are you talking
Wow.
about? I didn't
Sorry.
want China stealing the podcast's personal
Right,
data.
that's my bad.
So I had to get off TikTok.
Exactly.
Even though it was far too late at that point.
it's too late.
Anyway,
I'm already on Threads. They're taking my information.
I rated number 1 as number 1. And I said it was the best OP because it's very visually pleasing. And the way they're able to summarize that arc also without making it feel outdated really just invigorated me. Also, the song is a banger. That's really 95% of the reason why it's here. It's because the song is really good. But there is also one continuous shot where it goes through the entire class roster without cutting. And I thought that was really impressive, and I really liked that. I can't wait for you to watch My Hero Academia. We'll get to it eventually.
Eventually.
I'm going to get to it. And if you don't like it,
You're fired.
because it's my favorite anime of all time, for now,
Come to my office. You're fired.
you're fired.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I know.
Wow.
And
Interesting.
hey, that's
so those are your 2
both of
animes.
my anime.
Which both
Yeah.
of the animes. I truly don't know what's gonna be. You're kind of surprising me on this one.
Yeah.
I throw me a lot of curveballs.
You thought anime were going to be the top 2.
Please, please.
You underestimate. Have I watched 75 anime? Absolutely, I
Absolutely,
have.
I have. That's besides the point.
But that's besides the point.
So number 3 for me, I will give you the version that doesn't really count, and then the version that does count. So my number 3 pick is WandaVision. Now, that's cheating because there's
Yeah,
a different
a little
intro
bit.
every episode.
Because there's like 8.
So I chose WandaVision because of the ingenuity and how they made 8 incredible themes. All of them are incredible for every episode. My favorite, though, I believe is in episode 2. And it was the 60s one where he goes, WandaVision,
Oh, dude, I love that one. I think that's the best one.
That is the best one, hands down. I love that song. And I really, anytime I want to cringe, I will look at my Instagram story archive from when WandaVision was running, because when I tell you I was obsessed, I was obsessed. And I don't think I realized how bad it was until after. Like,
yo, listen, if you guys thought I was bad with Tears of the Kingdom,
oh my gosh,
that was Jackson with WandaVision.
Dude, I feel a little like I'm a little embarrassed of anyone that followed me when WandaVision was running, because I was not okay. I was into it. And so that song, that was like the one that everyone posted all the time, because like all the themes were good, but that was the most popular one because it was the best one.
Right.
But yeah, those memories. There's the first one is pretty good too. An unusual couple moves to town. That one's good too.
I like the one where they're like, we've got something cooking. I think it was the third one. Where Wanda's getting ready to have the baby. It's not my favorite, but I really like that one.
The third, that one is good. That's the Brady Bunch one. I thought you were, because I can honestly say that the weakest one was like the Roseanne parody one. Like, I think it was the fourth one.
I thought the weakest one was the one where they let the kids sing.
No, that
where
one was
it
like
was supposed to be
Malcolm in the
like
Middle.
her kids were doing it. Nah.
No, I think that one was supposed to be like Malcolm in the Middle, and so I appreciated that for what it was. But the worst one I thought was the fourth one, where it was like the really slow ballady one that didn't really work. And then the instrumental one that's supposed to be like The Office wasn't my favorite. And then the kids one after that.
You mean instrument? Hold on.
They did the Modern
fourth
Family
one,
episode.
That was more of a ballad. I think I'm getting them confused.
Because the fourth
I like
one was
the
like
one
really slow.
Where they're like, we've got something cooking.
Yeah, that's the third one.
Yeah, I like that
and
one.
And it's looking good. Yeah.
Yeah. Fourth one, okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It's
not
great.
Yeah. All right. Are we, wow, number 2.
Number 2. And then we do honorable mentions.
And then we hit honorable mentions. It's going to be good.
Number 2, it's going to shock you. You ready?
I'm ready.
Number 2, favorite TV show of all time? Or intro,
Intro.
not TV show. We've done that episode already.
Whoa.
Favorite intro? Truly iconic. This one's also a little bit like WandaVision because there's like 10 versions of it.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Lego Ninjago has a dude. The intro is a banger. The weekend whip goes hard.
Whip around and spin.
For the sake of this list, I'll say the original because the original
The
weekend whip is the best one.
Fire.
The alternate versions are kind of hit or miss. Like the one for season 3 was okay. The one for season 4 was okay. I like the season 5 one.
What's
that
the
was
Reloaded?
more spooky.
What's the Reloaded one?
Reloaded doesn't count.
Doesn't count? I thought it counted.
Are you talking about Rebooted?
I think it's
because that was season 3. I didn't like that one.
The one where it like does like an electronic remix of the week.
Oh yeah, that's season 3.
That one's good.
I just listened to that. I don't like it.
That one's good.
It sounds good in the intro, but if you listen to the full song, it doesn't sound good.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Yeah, like I like season 5 that has like the spooky mix to it. Season 6, giving it more of like that, I guess, sea shanty pirate vibe was really cool. Season 7, I like the season. I know not a lot of people like season 7.
Haven't heard it.
But it has a lot to do with time travel. Like the whole season has a lot to do with time travel.
Yeah.
So they incorporated that into the intro where they'll do like jump up, kick back, whip around, and then it'll stop and you'll hear the clock turn back and then they'll repeat what they said. It's really cool. I really like it.
I like that.
And then after that, season 8, 9, 10, they dropped the weekend whip.
What's
and
the
they
point?
just did this more like anime-esque instrumental opening.
What's the
I'm
point?
like, I mean, those are cool, but it's not
Those
the
are cool,
Weekend
but
Whip.
It's not the Weekend
Okay.
Whip. Did you ever watch the Weekend Whip music video where the kid was dressed as the Red
Yes.
Ninja and he was like jumping around the
Absolutely.
stairs? That was me. I was like jumping around the stairs. I was like, that kid is me. I'm
That kid.
jumping around the stairs.
Yeah, just like me, for real.
Yeah,
Running around
exactly.
with the cape on and the scooter.
for real.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
What's
saying.
really weird is I YouTubed to MP3'd that video specifically instead of just paying 99 cents for the Weekend Whip. So, because it was the music video, it had all of these different sound effects in it.
Oh, yeah.
So now when I go on Spotify and I listen to the song and it doesn't have it, it's still ingrained in
you
my
can hear
head.
the sound effects.
I hear
yeah.
the sound effects, and like in the instrumental break towards the end where they put in like all these different scenes of Kai and the ninjas
Yeah.
fighting and stuff. And it's
You're like,
not
where is
there
it?
on Spotify. I'm like,
Like,
this is an incomplete experience.
where
is
What's
it?
the point? You got to YouTube to MP3 it again.
Yeah. That's
I'm
what
just
goes
saying,
on
I'm just
Spotify.
saying. All right, number 2.
Yeah, that's my number 2.
Ready?
Yep.
Ready? All right.
Yep.
All right. The Simpsons. Hear me out. The Simpsons.
I mean, for you, that makes sense.
have an iconic theme song. Danny Elfman composed this iconic theme song. And it will live in my brain forever. And you know how iconic it is because they're season, 40 something, and they haven't changed it yet. This is the same theme song since day one for the Simpsons. But I also just, as one, the song is amazing. It's like an orchestral masterpiece. It truly is. And it fits the show so well because it's like sitcom-y, but not. It's timeless. It's like great. I'd also like to bring up the couch gag, which is a big thing for Simpsons fans because the couch gag is different every episode, which is insane because they're on season 40 whatever, and it's been different every episode. They've reused some, I'm pretty sure. Someone can correct me on that if you want. But just the sheer creativity of doing a different gag to start every episode is incredible, and I really respect that. And so the song is great, but also the couch gag just adds to the experience because it's different every time, and it makes me want to watch the theme song. Because the theme song, it's kind of long, but I want to watch it to see the gag, and I think that's really, really smart way to keep your viewers' attention, and it's worked because they're over 40 seasons in. So I'm gonna say, Simpsons, put some respect on the Simpsons. That's what I'm gonna say.
Maybe one day I'll sit down and watch The Simpsons. How long do you think? Okay. For reference,
Yeah.
I watched all of Friends in a month and a half.
Okay.
How long do you think it would take me to watch The Simpsons? Realistically. How many? Well, first of all, how many episodes of The Simpsons are
I'm
there?
looking up how many episodes there are.
Because there's 236 episodes
So
of
as
Friends?
of the most recent data I found from Google is as of May 21st, 2023, there are 750 episodes. So it's like
Okay.
One Piece.
No. It's not like One Piece. Because One Piece is at like 1,100.
Fine. It's like,
Although everyone would be like, Nick, you won't watch One Piece because it's long. I'm like, that is
Yeah.
one of the
Exactly.
reasons I won't watch One Piece because I'm just not interested in it.
yeah.
And quite frankly, when people keep asking me to watch One Piece, it makes me want to watch One Piece less. Because you guys are sitting here gassing it up like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's not possible. I get it. I know a lot of people who are like, oh, I didn't think One Piece was that great, but then I watched it and it was really great. And I'm like, okay, I think One Piece is overhyped. I'm not saying it's bad. I can't say it's good or bad because I haven't seen it. But what I do think is that everybody's gassing it up like it's a 15, when in reality, maybe it's like an 8 or 9.
Oh, wow.
So let's just be realistic here. Can't wait to clip that out and get myself canceled for not liking One Piece. I do have full intention of day one watching the live action One Piece on Netflix just because I know it will piss so many people off.
They're like,
I don't
what
even
if we
care.
took a 1,000 episode series into 2 hours?
No, they're
Guys-
doing like the first arc.
I'm just
Here's
saying,
the thing. I don't care if the live action is good or bad because I have no prior attachment to the series. That's why people don't like live actions because like, well, it's not as good as the original. Okay, if you don't have an emotional attachment to the original, then it doesn't matter.
So you could watch The Simpsons in a year if you watched like at least 3 episodes a day.
Weak.
Every day.
Beta
you're
male
talking
mindset.
about every day for a year. 3 episodes, like an hour a day for an entire year.
I could do it in
of
6
just
months.
The Simpsons. Wow.
I could do it in 6 months.
Ready to put your money where your mouth is?
Hey, I did 236 episodes in a month and some change.
I will say that I'm like 9 seasons into The Simpsons. I watch it on and off because I kind of forget it exists and sometimes I get tired of it. But I intend to watch until season 23 because in season 23, there is a Christmas episode halfway through the season. And that was the episode they wrote when they thought the show was going to get canned. So there is a canonical ending to The Simpsons in season 23. It's the Christmas episode in season 23. And I'm going to watch until then cuz that's when the show should have ended.
Right.
That's what I'm going to watch too. Cuz 23 seasons, that's nothing to sneeze at. Who else gets 23
Dude, I wish I
seasons?
could write 23 seasons. I
Literally.
struggle to write like 6.
And now they're on season like 30 whatever, 40 whatever. And so it's like maybe you should have cut off at season 23. Anyway, that's my number 2. Honorable mentions. I added 2 since we started.
Oh, so now you're at 8 and I'm only at 6?
So
Should have let me know.
You go first. I'll go pretty quick. But you can go
Okay, fine.
first.
At number 6, I have Gurren no Yumiya, which to translate to
this
normie
is all gonna
terms.
be anime.
To translate, actually no, only 2 of them are anime.
Okay.
To translate to normie terms, it's the first opening of Attack on Titan, which is so iconic. Like everyone knows the first opening to Attack on Titan.
translate
You've
into
heard
normie
it in
terms.
memes. You've heard it on the internet. It's just that opening of Attack on Titan has transcended even anime openings. It is a TV show intro. I remember before I watched Attack on Titan, I knew what that song was.
Mm-hmm.
It's a banger. Next one is Shinzo wo Sasageo. To put that in normie terms, it's the 3rd opening of Attack on Titan, which also, if you've been on the internet, that's the 2nd one that has also transcended time and space as being an amazing opening. I threw myself off because I skipped one. And number 3, Sweet Life on Deck.
Oh yeah,
dude.
Oh hey oh, this boat's rocking,
Banger.
rocking the whole world round.
Sweet Life on
Banger.
Deck is a banger.
That's a banger.
Number 2, Star vs. the Force of Evil. I couldn't not
Of
put it
course,
on here.
Of course.
Another banger Disney Channel opening. And number 1, kind of not really. Well, actually, no. At number 1 is The Office. I had to put it as my first honorable mention because it just barely got beat out by Demon Slayer.
Yep.
There's another one that I want to include in my honorable mentions because
Go for
it's kind of cheating,
it. Okay.
but I'm gonna include the opening credits of Persona 5 Royal,
Okay.
where
the game.
yes,
Okay.
where it's this video with the song Colors Flying High, which was done for the game, but it's a fully animated, like anime opening. Just it plays every time you boot the game up. And I wanted to include it because much like a TV show opening that gets you excited for the show, watching that opening every time, I don't think there's a single time I skipped it when I played the game.
Yeah.
Because it just gets you hyped, gets you excited to play the game, gets you in the mood. Like if you were kind of like, oh, I'm playing Persona 5, you listen to that, you're like, all right,
You're
we're playing
like, I'm
Persona
in.
5. Let's go change some hearts and take down some bad guys. So yeah, I feel like I had to include it.
Yeah.
Even though it's not really TV, but that's
allow
why
it.
it's in the honorable mentions and
I'll
not
allow
in the
it.
actual top 5.
Okay. Respect. I'll get this out of the way. one of my honorable mentions was Ninjago, because the
Banger.
Weekend Whip is that iconic. Now that that's out of the way, New Girl, great opening.
True.
So, Zooey Deschanel, I've seen her live at one of her Christmas concerts. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. She and Him is an amazing band. Go listen to them. Who's that girl? Amazing.
Have you finished that show?
No, I've seen 2 seasons. I just forgot about it.
A white man?
No! The street youths. So
I love
good.
that.
So good.
Schmidt's so funny. You need to finish
I
it.
also added, during this episode, I added Phineas and Ferb because there's 104 days of summer vacation and school comes around to end it. That's what I will say.
Did I send you the reel where it was like Phineas going to the principal's office and he was like, how many days are there in summer vacation? And the guy's like, oh, well, there's like 30. And then Ferb pulls out a gun and he's like, hey, you see that guy in the corner? That's my brother Ferb. He's pulling up. So how many days are in summer vacation? And then another guy walks in and Ferb shoots him. And the principal's like, you can't do that. And he's like, how many days?
How many days?
And then it starts, the song is like,
104.
there's 104 days. And that's the end of the video.
Oh my gosh. That's
That's
awesome.
where I'm at with Instagram reel comedy at this point.
Honestly, I saw a really, really funny reel of like a fish in a trash can, and then someone sticks their thumb in the fish, and the fish just starts like sucking their thumb, and then the like fish gets thrown into the river, and I cried laughing. I thought it was so funny because the fish was making a weird noise, and then he stuck his thumb in, and it's just like the. And it was just like he just starts sucking his thumb, and then he just flings it into the river.
Surely
Crying.
you've seen the guy who like goes POV,
Yes.
and then insert whatever.
It's like,
I love his
POV.
videos because we finally
I-
found someone who will push the boundaries of comedy.
No, right. POV.
And, like,
I want to
his
join
jokes.
the Navy. So good.
But-
so
Because
funny.
it's always the butts that catch me off
Yeah, it's
guard.
like,
Because it's like this
but.
super normal thing, like, oh, I'm in a bird making
Right.
class, but,
but
and then the but I'm a, and then finish the
and
sentence
then it
is
finishes-
always like,
and then it's like
wait, what's the
what?
joke here?
It's
And then you get
like,
to the joke and you're like, oh,
and you're like, oh my gosh, that's awful.
can I laugh at that? That's a terrible
Yeah,
joke,
no,
but it's
it's so
really
funny.
funny.
Yeah, Phineas and Ferb is on there. Next honorable mention, Malcolm in the Middle goes on there because it's so chaotic and random that it fits the show very well. And there's like random clips from like old Japanese war movies in there, and it's like
Oh, sign me
like,
up.
transitions in and out of like a TV like CRT effect, and the song is so good. It fits the show. I'm also gonna say, if you're a fan of the show, you expected it, Reba's on the list just because it's one of those theme songs that gets me hyped for the show. Like, we're getting
How did
our
I miss that?
freaking Reba on. Like, it's time to go. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops. Icon. Okay, icon. Going into some more serious shows, Stranger Things. The song is iconic, but the video aspect of the intro wasn't good enough to make the list because it's just like an animated version of the title.
It's literally
so-
just doing a slow pan back from the title.
From the
That's
title,
it.
which, like, you know, it fits the show, but it doesn't get beat out by those. Though what I will say about the Stranger Things intro is you hear that like ascending scale, and you know what's about to happen. It's like the do 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 do, and you're like, oh, it's going down. Like, it's Stranger Things time. The intro to Succession is quite good. That was a little that's like super out there, left field. Like, Succession and Reba are on the same list, and I don't know how they coexist there, but welcome to my TV habits. The song from Succession is phenomenal. Great piano intro. Love that. And the drums hit. That's all I'm going to say. Final choice for honorable mentions is Friends. Now,
Oh, thank God one of us put Friends on. Our
had to
list.
make it on there. It didn't make top 5 because it's a little overplayed. But you can't not, like, you have to play, you have to sing along, you have to clap along. You hear the bam bam down 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 down. You know what's going down. That's what I'm gonna say. It's iconic. So,
I'll be
honorable
honest.
mentions out of the way.
When I was watching Friends, it took me like 3 seasons to figure out if they were doing 4 claps or 5. Every time I did it, I was like, wait, no, they're doing.
It's 4.
It's 4.
Gonna be
like,
this way.
should've done
1, 2, 3,
6.
4. Yeah, should have done.
1 for each friend.
I like doing it out of sync on purpose, and so it's so funny.
If you ever do that in person, I will smack you in the face. That is just
so no
terrible.
one told you life was gonna be this way. Isn't that funny?
Nope.
I think that's really
not funny. Didn't laugh.
I think it's really funny. So, honorable mentions out of the way. Number 1 pick.
Let's see if you get this wrong for a 3rd time in a row.
Do you want me to guess?
What do you think my number 1 is?
Is it the Clone Wars?
It is the Clone Wars. Look at
Yes!
you, you're finally learning.
Yes!
That would have been the 3rd time
I've
in a
learned-
row you got the Clone Wars
Listen,
wrong.
I've learned that your number 1 for literally anything is Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's usually pretty accurate, actually.
So, pop off.
Listen, the Clone Wars. Just picture with me here.
Okay.
It's 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central on
right.
Cartoon Network. Everything goes dark.
Mm.
There's some like text on the screen or something, and then bam, ba-na-na-na-na, and then you see the Clone Wars title and it goes back, and then there's a quote that's like really inspirational and really cool while this really great music plays, and then it gets right into the episode, and it's like, there's war and something's happening and those guys are doing the thing, but don't worry because Anakin and Obi-Wan are going to check it out and they're going to do the super cool thing, and then you get right into the episode. Dude, iconic
It's over.
intro.
It's over.
That's it. Best TV show intro of all time. Because
Wow.
there are a lot of variants to it too. Like there's one that's yellow, there's one that's red, there's one that's blue. That's really cool. And then
I
there's
just love the
sometimes they
variation. One
don't
of them's
play the
yellow.
intro music, but they still do the title and they still do the quote. And the quote is different every episode. And the quote at the beginning pertains to what the episode is about. It's kind of like when you do your Bible reading in the morning and you see a verse and you're like, oh, that's a cool verse. And then by the time you get to the end of the day, you're like, oh, that actually
that was
applied
today.
to my
Yeah.
life.
That was
Whoa,
today.
that's crazy,
Yeah.
but I didn't know until I got to the end of
Right.
today.
Exactly.
Clone Wars top tier.
Top tier.
Amen.
Top tier.
Thank you for coming to my
Wow.
TED Talk.
Wow. All right. Do you have a guess for mine?
Is it Only Murders in the Building?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it
figured.
is. So, Only Murders in the Building.
Which,
The-
hold on. Did you know season 3 starts next month?
Yes, it does, and I'm so excited.
I didn't know that.
So, season 3 of Only Murders in the Building comes back in August, and Paul Rudd is in it, and I'm so excited. And we're bringing Murder Night back. Let
I
me
need to
tell
catch
you.
up.
So, you need to catch up. I'm
I
getting
need to
Amy
catch up
caught
so I can
she
be
join.
in the
So,
loop.
Yeah, in the loop, so we can talk about it. So, opening night of season 3, first episode, we're having a dip party where we all bring a dip and eat it like Oliver Putnam. So good. I'm so excited. But the intro to Only Murders in the Building is so stylized, and the song, like that, ooh, like it just,
It's iconic.
it's iconic, and it sets the tone. That's what I really like, and the art style is awesome because it is like ends up being the intro to the show ends up being spoilers ends up being what Mabel paints on her wall in her apartment, which is phenomenal. That is, it ties in all together. There's Easter eggs in the intro that point to certain things in the show, and it has like this art style that makes me feel like it transports me to New York. in this time. It's like this super classy, but also like timeless, modern, like the piano, the like it transports me. I'm in the world. And that's what the common theme of all of these intros do for me in my top 5 is they submerse me into the world that I'm about to consume. But Only Murders in the Building does that in a way that these other shows don't. Only Murders, like, when that intro comes on, I'm locked in, especially in those cold opens where you get a big reveal at the very beginning. And then the percussion starts before the intro starts. And so it's like, oh, this person did that. And then you get like the boom, boom. It's like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait till, like I can't wait. And so it does that to me in a way that other intros don't. And it's a 10 out of 10 intro. It's peak. That's what I gotta say. It's peak.
That's fair. I'll
Booyah.
give you that. It's really good. I didn't watch
There we
season
go.
2 though.
Yeah. No,
I think I still have
recommend-
the Hulu login saved. It'll be fine.
If you don't,
I'll find it.
Send it again. Man, wow. What a good time. Top 5 intros. I'd like to say thank you to Logan, a friend of the show, for recommending this podcast topic, because he asked if we thought about doing this, and I said, no, that's a good idea. So if you have an episode idea that you'd like for us to do, feel free to send an email or a DM or whatnot, and we definitely consider it. So, anything else?
Oh, because we're pre-recording this,
Oh, yes.
and I
yes.
know when this episode goes out.
Yes.
I'm gonna double check, so I'm gonna
I'll double check.
fumble and stall while I pull up the schedule on my phone.
July
just to make
24th.
sure-
Comes
yeah,
out on July
'kay.
24th.
Tune in
Uh-huh.
to the YouTube channel Monday, July 21st or 31st,
Mhm.
not 21st.
31st.
July 31st. There's gonna be some big stuff there. I won't say exactly what it is yet. Just keep you in suspense a little bit. But
Mhm.
there's going to be some big stuff. And when I say big stuff, I mean, like, this is arguably the biggest thing we've done
Ever.
so far.
Like,
So you're going to want to
Biggest,
stay
biggest.
tuned for that. And
Yeah.
it might have a little sprinkling of what we're going to do for episode 100 too. Which, by the way,
mhm.
if you have any questions that you want us to answer, because we're going to do
Oh
a
my
bunch of
gosh,
Q&A on
please.
episode 100.
Yeah.
Drop them in the description on Spotify. Send them
Yep.
to us on Instagram. We'll probably do multiple story
Mhm.
posts just collecting questions. Send them all in. We
Mhm.
want to have every question possible.
Mhm.
It can be a stupid question like, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Or
Right.
what color pen do you prefer to use? Like anything.
Right.
Ask us anything.
Anything.
Just within reason.
Within
Okay.
reason. Anything within
You
reason.
know what is too far. Okay?
Use your discernment.
Yes.
But also, send anything.
Send anything. We'll take
Use your
everything,
discernment.
anything and
to
everything.
Send anything. Anything, everywhere, all at once.
No.
Booyah. So,
That's all I have to say. That was it. I just
100th
wanted to do that
episode.
nice little plug.
our next episode is episode 100. So, make sure you stay tuned for that episode because it is a party. It's a big deal. We've got a lot planned. It's going to be so fun. So stay tuned for episode 100. Make sure you're watching on Instagram at the Nerdiest Podcast so that you know when episode 100 comes out and what's going on and how big of a deal that is. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube at the Nerdiest Podcast so that you can see our biggest announcement ever. Oh my gosh, what's it going to be? Did I get a puppy? Who's to say? Let's go watch on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube at the Nerdiest Podcast. Give a 5-star review. Leave your questions in the Spotify description down below if you're on Apple Podcast. Make
Are
sure
we finally
you...
opening an OnlyFans? I don't know.
Whoa.
You'll have to find out.
It's about
I can
dang
assure you
time.
it's not that.
I can assure you it's not that. But send your questions on Instagram, Spotify. It'll be down below. Cannot wait. We will see you in the next episode, episode 100. Can't wait. Until next time. Bye.